So in this video, we're going to be talking about demons. Now, I have got extensive experience with demons, with ghosts, with poltergeists. I used to have a hotel with my family in France that was extensively haunted. I experienced poltergeist activity. I saw a lot of really intense things and experienced a lot of quite crazy things, which I can explain now and I'll explain in other videos, but I've got my fair share of experience with the demonic, put it that way. And what I wanted to talk about in this video was trying to give an example of a structure, a theory which I had on the demonic, which may just change a few perspectives today. So I've just been reading the Bible, just been reading a few passages, and let's see where Matthew specifically, and just learning about Jesus. And I thought to myself, what would happen if Jesus faced a demon? What would happen if he visited, let's say, the Ed and Lorraine Warren Museum? Now, if you don't know what the Ed and Lorraine Warren Museum is, Ed and Lorraine Warren were ghost hunters, and they're both dead now. They've both passed away, and they were exorcists, and they covered almost, I think it was over 2,000 cases of demonic possession and paranormal activity, and basically, for lack of a better word, ghost hunters. These are the people that the Conjuring movies are based off. So if you've seen the Conjuring movies, Ed and Lorraine Warren, that's who they are. But they have done extensive cases in real life, and it's something quite interesting to look into. But just to warn you, the more you look into the demonic, the more you look into paranormal activity, the more energy you send to it, making it more real in your life. So just be aware of that. So at this current moment, the Ed and Lorraine Warren is owned by a comedian named Matt Rife. Now, Matt Rife, if you don't know who he is as well, you probably know who he is. He's quite famous. He's kind of a new up-and-coming comedian. He's quite famous now, and he's very good with crowd work and stuff like that. He's brilliant. And Matt had enough money that he bought Ed and Lorraine Warren's museum. And he purchased it. As far as I know, he purchased it about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now. And I don't know if he still owns it, but whatever. I thought to myself, as I'm reading the Bible, I'm thinking about Jesus. I thought, I wonder what would happen if Jesus materialized on earth right now. The actual Jesus came here, the enlightened one, the chosen one, came and faced this museum. Now, this museum it's fairly small. It's in their house. It's like the size of 3 or 4 garages. It's not too big, but inside this museum is filled to the brim with basically possessed activity items. So you've got the Annabelle doll, you've got a vast range of voodoo kind of things that have been taken from cases and placed in this place for safety. It's blessed every day by a priest, and it is relatively safe and contained. But in these walls are possessive items. You know, they are positive. They're positively charged with demonic energy. So they're pretty active. And lots of ghost hunters go here, and you might have heard of it before. Anyway, I thought to myself, what would happen if Jesus actually went there? And it then got me thinking about the ego again. It got me thinking of the chain of command within this universe, the universal rules, which is you ascend, the better you are, the more you let go, the more you go to heaven. You go up the Jacob's ladder in your consciousness. You start to, actually be a loving being, and demonic possession cannot exist within love. It just can't, because it's counteracting, right? It's on opposite force. Whereas you go down the ladder into the basement, and you go darker, 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 until you find hell. You find demons. You find the dark. And if there was a being shining so much light, and he faced the dark, he would destroy it. So, of course, this is why during exorcisms, people struggle so much, the person getting exorcised, because their demon, their belief of a demon, their structure, their very existence is threatened, much like if my ego was exposed by someone knowing me very well, or knowing everything about me and being able to expose my deepest, darkest feelings and thoughts. That's what's happening. A demon is like fire, and the enlightened is water touching this. This is why we use holy water. It's blessed with the vibration of holiness. It's blessed with that enlightened energy. And water is a cleanser. So the demon is literally being destroyed. So I thought, what you would actually see is an amplification of a demon if Jesus faced it. You would see a demon absolutely boiling and burning, because what would happen, but in their way, they would actually become more powerful for a moment, because they would use every single force to deny the light. The darkness is so strong, it's antimatter. They would deny the enlightened consciousness so much, they'd wriggle out of it. But if they were trapped, if they were contained, the only place they could go was be filled with light. So I'd imagine what Jesus would do is much like he'd heal the blind, he'd cure leprosy, he'd just make things that are beliefs and structured, because everything is belief, right? If I believe I'm sick, I will get sick. You can generate cancer from just believing in it long enough. You can have a heart attack just by thinking about it enough. Might take a few weeks, might take a few minutes, but you can make these things happen. You can disfigure your face by believing you are ugly. Everything is belief. So what the demons are doing is they believe that everything has to be dark. They believe that they are all powerful by being pure selfish. And Jesus' belief is everyone can be cured. Everyone can be brought to the light. So let me help you. Let me give you that love. Let me give you forgiveness. I will banish anything demonic by bringing this entity, this energy to the light. Because all demons are energy. Everything is energy in motion. It's emotion. So they are struggling with trapped emotion. That's why you get demonic entities within, like the hotel I used to own with my family. There's demons trapped in the very fabric of the walls. There's demons trapped in objects. There's demons trapped within the actual building itself, just in the air. It's because it's trapped energy. And when trapped energy is given attention, which is more energy, then the energy just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I'll give an example of this, which is pretty unbelievable, but me and an ex-girlfriend experienced this firsthand. We were in bed in one of the rooms that I, to be honest, was quite nervous to stay in, because I'd experienced very light things in there before, kind of energetic presences. And we were in bed, we were kissing, cuddling, whatever you do. And I remember she turned and she was very cold, like extremely cold, and she was hot, right? A warm-blooded creature. And she was very cold to the touch. And I was like, oh my God, are you okay? Do you need some water? Are you all right? And she is just basically in absolute fear of what's in the corner. And she can't even speak. And I looked to this corner as well, and I knew exactly what she was experiencing, because I had the same physiology. Like, I couldn't believe it. The physiological reaction that I had as well was just frozenness. Because in the corner was a shadow, and this shadow got bigger and bigger and bigger. There's a lamp in the corner as well, and it blocked the light of the lamp. That's how powerful this was. And this sounds ridiculous. This sounds just like a made-up nonsense thing. And because it is, because what you are feeding your energy to is created. So if you've never fed your energy to something like this and experienced it, you won't know what I'm talking about. But if you fed the energy, so of course, we're looking at something that was already there. She's feeding energy to it. It's taken all the energy from her body, taking all that heat energy as well, and me. And this thing is now materializing in the room. And it was absolutely terrifying. And I just grabbed her and I got under the covers and I just held her for I don't even know what amount of time it could have been. Maybe it was an hour, maybe it was longer. I just held her in protection because I didn't know what it was capable of. And it cleared the room, and that was that. But, these things are very real. Absolutely real. And that's the lightest example of what happened in that certain place. And what that is just energy. It's nothing that, If you believe it can hurt you, of course it can hurt you. But if you believe it's just a cloud of energy that needs passing on, you can open the windows, you can clear the room, you can fan it out, you can get rid of it. You can speak the words of positivity, you can just diminish that energy. You can replace it with something different, displace its very reality. And that's what I mean when we're talking about what Jesus would do. He simply fills polluted water with iodized water. That's it. He's just sending goodness, like fairy liquid on top of, if you've cooked burgers before and you've got kind of like a greasy pan, or any greasy pan, you put fairy liquid on, like washing up liquid, and you see it disperse. That's what I'm talking about here. You're dispersing that energy. You're literally sending it to its smallest form. And then with its smallest form, just like a candy or something like this, you got it in your mouth and you're dissolving it until it just disappears. Of course, there's evidence of it, there's remnants of it, there's little bits of sugar going through your bloodstream, but now it is not in physical form anymore. So this is my take on demons, and this is my take on a lot of this stuff in the Bible. Whether a man actually was physical material and he did these miracles or not, or if this whole book is purely just energetic teaching and metaphorical, everything is the same thing. It's just being the good. It's loving your neighbor. It's giving your enemy the food. It's doing the opposite of all greed. Instead of looking at that demon as a scary thing, look at it as a wounded child. Look at it as someone to save. Because if a child is angry, kicking and screaming and in distress, where is that different from a demon? That's all they're doing. They're just screaming for help. They're in fear, deep fear. They've only become demonic because they are so far away from the light that they have materialized in the dark. Remember that. So look at the world with great empathy. Look at the world with compassion. Give compassion to these these poor souls. They just need saving. Because imagine, holistically, when you save the whole earth, there's no demons anymore. There's no bad. It's nothing like that. There's always the potential to be. There's always the room for it to happen. If you cleanse the whole thing, you are left with infinite beauty. You are left with infinite healing. You are left with enlightened consciousness. You're left with the very stage of, let's say, what all these books, they're all saying the same fucking thing. All of them. It's about being conscious. It's about being alive and brilliant and fantastic and sending all of that goodness wherever you can. That's the only thing we've got. You've got a garden and it's bare. Fill it with soil. Sow the seeds. Water it. Make it incredible. Grow this whole thing. Bring back the jungle. Let everyone thrive. Seek the light. Breathe it. Feel it everywhere. Every single place we've got energy. Infinite energy all the time. And there are people that are sad. There are people that are struggling. There are people that are depressed. Find them. Bring them here. This is heaven. This is heaven. Heaven is right here. It's not a place to wait to go to. It's not a place you go to after. It's a place you obtain now. It's a place you must find right here. You just change the lens. I mean, look at it. Look at the difference. Change the lens. Take this lens off. See? It's just the lens. Just change it. Literally got the infinite potential to be the best self and the best version all the time. So lead with that. Lead with the heart. You're pre-programmed. This body is literally pre-programmed for good. We have these hands to grab other hands to help. We have eyes to see what needs cleansing. We have ears to hear the weak and the poor, to save them. We have hair, there's literal antennas on our head, giving us the vibrational signals which flow throughout the body, which help us know what to do, that instinct. Your very DNA is a code. It's a code that is coded all the time, infinitely, with the very instruction manual of what to do. If aliens came out of nowhere, they just look at us and go, oh, you're perfection. You're perfection. And of course they don't exist because we are them. We are that perfection. It's all here, people. It's all here. All here. You want to see God? Look at a flower, that's God. It's quite funny, actually. This is the last thing I'll say. Is this Bible, right? This is filled to the brim of basically poems. This is poems. When I was in English class, a long time ago, 10 years ago, we went through a poem called Nettles. This was about the war. This was about World War II. And the nettles that would grow on the battlefield among the poppies afterwards. And this beautiful poet had deconstructed this thing. We deconstructed this poem for weeks. Weeks and weeks and weeks, taking every single metaphor, analyze. And it was speaking of war, the nettle. So if you look into these books, you look at the metaphor, you know exactly what it means. You can see it, your gut is telling you. Of course, they can't just put it as a dangling carrot, so obvious. Let's look on any page. Have no fear of sudden disaster or of the ruin that overtakes the wicked. For the Lord will be at your side and will keep your foot from being snared. That's talking about instinct. That is, there is danger all around us, but if you go with courage, then you will never get hurt. I often say to people, like, sometimes when I climb trees, people are like, yeah, but what happens if you fall or something like this? It's like, well, why would I fall? I haven't decided to fall. I didn't make the conscious decision to fall, so why would it happen? It's like, everything is a decision. Everything. When you're in traffic and you're driving badly and obnoxiously and stressed and you're making mistakes, all of that is decided. Everything. You decide every single thing that happens to you all of the time. So please, remove the frustration. Because it's your fault. It is your choice right now. If you're conscious, if you bring yourself to your conscious awareness right now, you know that every single step from this is your conscious awareness. You're doing this. Every single bad thing that's ever happened, subjectively, is a decision-making process. When I used to be an addict to drugs, I was deciding to take the drugs. I was deciding to roll the weed, to buy it from the dealer, to give my money over, to go to the cash point, to talk about it all day long, to go and sit there and to feel in fear and paranoia and hate it. That was all my decision. When I was addicted to sex, it's my decision to think about sex all the time. It's literally a decision. You can decide to replace the thought. It's my decision to record right now. I was going to go out and fly the drone and do all this other stuff, go on a walk, blah, 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 read my book. And actually, I read 2 minutes of this book and I came up with this insight about demonology, that it is just another thing to dissolve. And you just got to be compassionate, kind, and wonderful So if you start surrounding yourself with kind, compassionate, wonderful things, you will be a kind, compassionate, wonderful person. Do you get it? It's fantastic. You've got this. It's just about re-remembering the training. Last thing I'll say is I do not watch violent films anymore. I do not listen to violent content. I do not watch the news and watch people getting murdered and blown up and all this stuff. What's that going to do to my consciousness? When I was in Portugal, my friend, my dear friend, he kept showing me videos that at the time there was a girl on a train that was murdered by some maniac that couldn't control himself and his emotions. I don't know anything more of the story. Maybe I've got that wrong. But he showed me this video multiple times of her like being murdered. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you watching this? Why are you filling your mind with this darkness? You are impressionating your reality upon a dark template. And every single time I see him, he's got something else to show me. He always shows me some dark thing and he's like, this is fucked up. I'm like, yeah, you don't need to watch it. You don't need to fill your mind with that. Instead, why don't you just fucking relax and think about good stuff? Think about how you can be a good person in society that maybe can prevent stuff like this from happening by curing those people with those thoughts. By sending the good thoughts to the people that may do this. I'm not religious, and I've got a Bible, right? I'm not religious. I'm absolutely not religious. But why not sit down with someone that's struggling and have a little read of this with them? Because that will do them much better than them going through a spiral thought, going to bed, looking at violent content, maybe grabbing a weapon and thinking, maybe I'll do that myself. Maybe this is the right way to go. Everything is thought. Everything is brainwashing. Every single thing. Sorry, I've come across really like in this video, but again, that's a choice. I've made a choice to do that. I'm not trying to patronize or anything like that. Really not. But if it comes across like that, then I am sorry. That's not the way I want these videos to go. I just want so much of this information that I've realized to be realized in you. Because when you do that, you can be free. So anyway, we'll leave this one here. I'm going to go make some lunch and get hydrated and get myself started for today. And I want you guys to just take whatever you will from this video. It's a pleasure to make these videos. It's a pleasure to speak to you guys. And it's a pleasure to have these insights come through in my own mind and stuff. And if you like this video, you know, like, subscribe, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. If you like my videos, stay tuned. If you don't like it, fuck them off. Watch something else. Live your life. You know, it doesn't matter. But comment if you want to see something else. If there's something I covered in this video that would be particularly helpful to go over, then I'll make a video on it. Anyway, much love. Have a great day. Spread some positivity. Live in positivity. And love your neighbor. Bye.